Hi, everybody, and welcome back to It's Never Too Late to Date. We are the channel that talks about dating after the age of 60, what works and what doesn't. And on our last video, we talked a little bit about online dating and why it doesn't work for some people. And today we're going to talk about how to make it work for everyone. And first of all, I just want to bring up a couple of the key points about online dating, and during this process we're going to kind of get past one of the biggest fears, especially for women with online dating. But first of all, let's talk about some of the steps to take just to get ready. Number one, probably a fun way to do it and an easy way to do it is enlist one of your friends to help you get ready to do dating online. And by that I mean have that friend help you take your photo. Make sure that you, if you can do it outside, it's best. Lighting is always good when you're outside, at least sort of facing the sun anyway. You want to have your it kind of makes you glow, makes your pictures seem warmer. And once you've done that, or one of the other things about getting your picture taken is do it while you're in a place that you really enjoy. Go to one of your favorite places where you know that you go, so that when, you know, and it always makes you feel like you're in a good mood. So do that if you can. Have a friend go with you and have that friend take your photo. Number two, have your friend help you with your profile. Most of our friends can say nice things about us, and can put together a just even a paragraph about how they see you, and take that and then use the information that's in that to create a profile that you put together yourself. And the reason that I like having people do that is men and women, I think, are both the same. They have a hard time talking about themselves. And you want to be able to point out your really, really good points, the things that you like to do, how you make other people feel, that type of thing. And I think it's great to have someone else do that for you. That way you get a really, really good picture that's true and honest, but not necessarily from your point of view. All right, and then after that, you there's a couple things that you'll want to do once you start dating, or actually you've done all of that we just talked about. You've got your picture taken, you have your profile picture up, and now you're looking through profiles. Have a friend help you do that too. You're online, you're looking through each profile, you're looking at photos, you're looking at pictures, and it's good to have somebody else's point of view in that process. And one of the reasons is that you want to do that. First of all, it makes it fun, but you've got another person's perspective. And that way you're not just making a decision based on looks like we talked about in the last video. You're sure, looks are important, but I think a lot of times we, will count out some people who, normally you should at least go on one date with, just to meet in person. So your friend can help you do that, help you be down to earth about your choices. And you've gone through, you've checked a few people. Now there are different sites, and the site that I use, and I will say the name, was Tinder. And my girls found out I was on Tinder and just thought it was crazy. So, oh, it's all hookups, Mom. They're all guys are looking for hookups, girls are looking for hookups. But that was not my experience on Tinder. And what I liked about it was that I would go through and read profiles, check to the ones that I like, I would swipe to the right. The ones that I didn't like, I would swipe to the left. And then you've done your part once you've done that. Then on the other side of things, the other person is going through and swiping to the right on the people that they like and swiping to the left the people they don't like. Now, if during the process of doing that, two people end up swiping right on each other, it pops up that you have a match. That means somebody else, somebody who you liked, has liked you also. And I like that concept because, I think with some of the other sites, and we'll talk about some of those at another time, you're putting messages out there. You don't know if they're going to respond. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And you don't even know if they're you write a message to somebody, or you heart them, or there's a bunch of different emojis you can use. And then you start talking. But this way, what I liked about Tinder is I was only talking to guys that had responded positively to me. And that takes away all of that insecurity of whether or not they're going to like you or not, or what. Already they've put their foot forward and show that they at least liked how you look, and hopefully they look through your profile as well. All right, so, and I'm David, who I met on Tinder. He felt the same way. It was an easy process. You also find out how close they live to where you live, and we got a conversation started, that way. And we decided to meet pretty quickly. So that's the next step, is how do you know if you're ready to meet somebody in person that you've been chatting with a little bit? And my advice is the sooner the better. You can go on chatting for a long time. And if one of you brings up, how about we meet? And the other person is kind of going, well, no, I'm not quite ready for that. Sometimes that can be, and I say sometimes that can be an indication that the person is really kind of a catfishing type person, or they're really not interested in meeting, and they're just on the site to chat and feel good about themselves because they've got some attention coming. And also it could mean that they might be already connected with someone else. They could be married, they could have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. If they're not willing to meet in a timely manner, then I would question why they're on there. So I suggest that you chat, you find out you've got some things in common, and then you decide to meet. Well, before you set up a time, but before you go meet this person, and this is another fun thing you can do with your friends, and I did it with mine, was you go on social media and see what you can find out about this person. And a lot of times you've got a person who you look at their profile and it turns out that they have friends in common with you. And you can kind of go through, and if you do, especially where I live, I'm in a somewhat small town. I grew up here, and so a lot of times every person I look at in my area that is on Facebook or Instagram or any of those, we've got friends in common. And sometimes you can find out a lot about the person that you're going to go meet with ahead of time. And sometimes you'll reach out to a person and they really don't know them that well. They just met them in a networking group, or they have friends in common and they became friends. But if you check through enough of them, sometimes you can find out something about the person that you're going to be going on a date with. And that kind of eases a little bit of the fear and the tension. And the main reason that you want to find out about somebody is and I mentioned at the beginning, one of the biggest fears, especially for women, is the stories that they hear about a woman who went out on a date with somebody they met online and they end up in a bad situation. Whether it's, the guy's a axe murderer, or has taken their money. They've gotten in a relationship with this person too soon, didn't know them, and next thing they know, they've given sent them some money for whatever reason. And never say, never do that. I can't say that enough. You hope that people are thinking things through before they do give money to somebody that they have never met, first of all. And even if you've met them, there's a period of time that needs to go by before you begin to trust somebody and feel like you've gotten to know them well enough to do something like that. So you'll want to make sure that you've got some way to check somebody out. Now, if there is some questionable things that happen, either walk away and don't deal with that person, or if you feel like, well, maybe I'm just being a little suspicious, there are people out there who will do some investigating for you. And I don't encourage everybody to hire a private investigator, but I do know that there are dating companies out there who, that's how they vet people, is, they'll come in, they'll tell them they want to look for a date, go out on dates, and they do a lot of background stuff before they will start working with someone. And it's your life, it's your, you want to be safe. So if you feel like you need to do that, then by all means. So you have somebody check somebody out. If they're offended by that, then to me, that would be a red flag. I would not have a problem with some guy, back when I was dating, if somebody said, well, I had somebody check you out to make sure you were, up on the up and up, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I have nothing to hide, and hopefully they don't either. All right, so once you have checked them out on online, had somebody else check them out if you feel that there's a need to, then what you're going to want to do is make sure, if you plan on going on the date, you want to share your destination with a couple of your friends. And first of all, you want to make sure that you're meeting in a public place, coffee shop, restaurant, and you should never be going with that person anywhere after you've gone on your date. You take your time. You do not need to share your place that you live with somebody else, someone that you're dating, until you feel comfortable doing that. And usually, I would say you need to be dating or meeting with this person for at least a month or so. And I'm going to be looking for some statistics on that. I have read them, but I don't have them in front of me. But I'll be sharing that with you later, just to kind of get an idea of, when's a safe time period before actually having someone come to your place or going to their place. And I know people do all the time one night stands, they do hookups with people, and they never met them before. It's not a safe thing to do, but people do it and they survive. But why not be as safe as you can? All right, so you've picked your destination and you've told your friend where you're going to be. Now, I just have a quick story. When David and I went on our first date, we met for wine. I mentioned it in my last video. Well, I'm sitting at the restaurant and I happened to see a shadow at the window, and it were two of my friends who I had told that we were meeting and where we were meeting had walked by the restaurant and were looking in the window trying to see us. They saw me look and they ducked down and and kind of ran away, slinked away, so that I didn't give them a bad time. And David saw them as well, and we got a big laugh out of that. And he wasn't offended by that, and I thought it was pretty funny. And we got, he's definitely, I found out the kind of sense of humor that he has because of that situation. So, tell your friends. I'm not sure your friends are going to go sneak by, but if you go to a restaurant, you You know, there's nothing, nobody says that you can't have one of your friends there eating someplace at a distance from where you're sitting. Just be safe. That's the biggest thing. All right. So once you picked your destination, told your friends that you're going to be there, then you're just going to make sure that you take some time and ask some curious questions. So by curious, I'm just saying you want to be curious. And hopefully they do too. And one of the things that I mentioned in another video is if you go on a date with somebody and they don't ask you any questions about yourself, then you kind of wonder, well, why? Well, sometimes they just are nervous and they don't know what to say. That's the biggest comment I get from at least some of the women that I work with, and that's I don't know what to say to somebody. I get on a date, I don't know what to say. If I'm talking on the phone, I don't know what to say. And you have to look at it, if for women or men, when you get together with a friend or meet somebody of your same sex as a friend for the first time. Say you meet somebody and you've decided to get to know each other better, and it's not for romantic reasons or whatever. You just are meeting a new friend, getting to know a new friend. When you do that, especially if they're the same, sex as you are, you're not worried about whether what they think. You're not nervous. You're just trying to find out more about them. You're curious about them, wanting to know kind of what you have in common and all of that. Your dates should be the same way, especially your first, second, third. And, you're never going to find out everything about somebody. So there's always going to be something new to talk about. And so don't feel like, it's going to, don't be nervous about that part of it. Just go in like you're meeting a friend for the first time. You're looking for friends, not necessarily looking for a long-term partner. And you may find one in the process, but go on your dates just to get to know somebody new. And then all that angst and that fear kind of will float away. Now, on our next few videos, we're going to be talking a little bit about when to know whether or not you should go on a second date with someone, and if there's anything you should be watching for to determine that. And that's all we've got today for our first date. If you have any comments, I've been getting some great comments on some of my videos and I love it. Please continue. If you have comments or questions about anything that I've talked about on the videos, feel free to send me a message right on the comments below, and we'll start a good conversation. If you've got things to add, I love hearing new things, because all of you have had experiences, so you may have ideas that I haven't mentioned. So please do. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I will continue to bring more videos, and if you have any ideas of other topics that you want to hear about, please let me know. I'm trying to keep things in somewhat of a logical order, from your meeting somebody to the first date and on from there. But if there's other things that you would like to have covered, please let me know. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great rest of your day.